We want to welcome in Daniella Squicquero, a familiar face around here on WHHI, partner in Hilton Head Life and vice president of the Bluffton Chamber of Commerce. Coming to the end of 2020, Daniella, tell us a little bit about what the business community in Bluffton is focusing on right now as we end the year.
Hey, Bob, good to see you. So, it's funny, as we're coming to the end of 2020, on the one hand, we think it couldn't possibly come soon enough, and on the other hand, we think, where has 2020 gone? But of course, we know right where 2020 has gone.
Yes, it has.
And
yes,
so
we do.
as we move into the end of this year, not only business but calendar, we're really looking forward to hopefully a much better and much different 2021. But I know that out and about in the business community, the questions people really have right now are pertaining to taxes, structuring how they're going to use, work their finances, moving into the next year. And of course, looking back at this last year where everything was just hairy, to say the least.
For sure.
And of course, working with the PPP, that Paycheck Protection Program that was established in the spring, there's still a lot of questions. We know now that there will be some forgiveness happening. We think we know the threshold, but nobody really knows when is the right time. And it depends on who you ask. So There's a lot of information, there's a lot of misinformation, and I think a lot of people are sort of being armchair CPAs, if you will, and giving their own personal opinions on the subject. But the most important thing right now is for people to make sure that their financial ducks are in a row, because these things are going to start coming to needing to be assessed on paper and really moving forward into what we hope is going to be a much more normal year.
And, by the way, to start next year, we may have some more of this depending on what Congress does. So we've got an awful lot certainly up in the air, and uncertainty might be a key word for all businesses in the Lowcountry. Yeah.
No question about it. The one thing that we're certain about is that we're not certain about much of anything. And that is the truth. And so it's interesting because the uncertainty that we had going into this in the first place was really surrounding the nature of this illness, the nature of the virus, how was it going to affect the economy? And of course, at this point, at least for what's happened so far, we're now almost a year in, really.
Yeah.
And so we know the answers to those questions, but those questions have bred more questions. So we've traded one uncertainty for another, especially looking into the potentiality here for a second wave, not knowing what that's going to look like. But of course, this ain't our first rodeo at this point, right? So we have some idea of how in each of our own personal households and businesses, we may try and address this as much as is possible and reasonable going into what may be a second wave of this. And of course, a lot of our states in the United States are already seeing more shutdowns, more lockdowns, all of that. Nothing like that in South Carolina here just yet, but certainly we're watching, and I would say to anyone, just be prepared.
Yeah, so in our last 15 seconds or so, that's what you're basically telling all the businesses in Bluffton is just kind of hold on, but keep your eyes open because, as you say, the only thing we know for sure is that things are going to change.
That's the message, absolutely. Just like hurricanes, be ready, hope you don't need it.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. Hey, thank you so much, Daniella. We appreciate it. Daniella Squicquero, Vice President of the Executive Board of the Greater Bluffton Chamber of Commerce and partner in Hilton Head Life. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Bob.
A Lowcountry construction firm has won some big awards. Learn more next.